and distinguished persons on the dais and off the dais. I'm talking about information and communication technology in policing. I would like to actually draw two of the very personal kind of experience with me, and which will probably underline what I'm going to say subsequently in my presentation. The first scenario is like this. A particular person coming from US, an NRI, goes to a police station and tells the sub-inspector who is sitting in charge of the police station, saying that, sir, my computer has been hacked. The sub-inspector replies, hacked? By what? He said, sir, this has been hacked by somebody. So did he use an axe to hack it? And then he says, next time, or chalo, ye sab chodo, wo computer ko utha ke le aao. This is the first scenario. The second scenario is like this. We actually were investigating a case in the CBI. We got almost 1,000 check leaves signed by a suspect. And we were thinking whether this particular transaction is a fraudulent transaction. We wanted to prove that through the checks. We were sure that this check has been signed by somebody else. So we wanted to compare this. When I called up the GEQD, that is Government Examiner of Question Documents, and asked him how much time you will take to actually analyze all these signatures, I mean that is 1,000 signatures, with the signature which you have taken as a sample. He told me he will take 1 day. And it was actually a learning process for me that earlier, when we used to send a signature to a laboratory, they used to take almost a month's time to make the negatives and then compare it with a microscope and kind of things. Now with the technology, what they call VSC, video spectrometer kind of thing, which you just put it, the sample thing in one slot, the other things you just put it one by one, just like a ticket machine. And it will say whether it is matching or not. And it will also give you all the printouts on the basis of which it has actually matched. So this is actually the scenario. I must say the police, unlike the army, General Padhi actually will bear me out, and some of the officers here, that actually army or the armed forces are the first to induct technology. This is a history. Armed forces, all the evolution which has happened over the period of time, last 2,000 or more than that, 2,000 years, is because of the wars. And all of the best technology you have got because of the wars. And the second best probably will be the medical science. They also evolve with first induction of technology, including the information and communication technology. But I must admit one thing, police is the last to induct technology. Because we have certain mindset that danda se koi acha cheez nahi hota hai. This is the fact. We actually probably live and operate with brawn, with the strength, physical prowess, and this is the reality. But notwithstanding, all over the world, though we have inducted technology, one advantage is there, which I always tell my colleagues in the armed forces. Look, you inducted in 1987 a technology and you upgraded it slowly, like DOS and this, that, all kind of things. I am straight away just, inducting Windows 7. I don't have to upgrade. I just induct it because I am late. So I get the best. This is actually a solution, kind of a solace to me. Yes. So whatever has happened in the recent past, last 2, 3, 5 years, we have inducted in the policing in India, the latest and the best. But anyway, we are, as I said, we are very slow because our actually functioning, nobody is about to is convinced many of the time that technology can solve your problems. There is always an antithesis to that, saying that no, technology is actually costly, and if you put it is a installation and other things, is time consuming, and it makes you very soft, and it's not actually. But with the growing threat of terrorism and these kind of things, the realization is the other way around. Whereas we have to fight technology with technology only, because these guys, Laskar or anybody, really they are really good. I can assure you that that I am handling terrorism for the last so many years, and they are really, really good. And you have to be necessarily, if not one step ahead, at least par with them, so that you can fight with them. Otherwise, it will be very difficult. With this introduction, I just wanted to just take you to some theories and other things, and then we will. Information and communication technology, for me, is that actually the convergence of the telecommunications and the traditional information technology. This will include all range of technology for gathering, storing, retrieving, processing, analyzing, transmitting information, including national communications infrastructure. This I thought is the best definition for me. Many of the people may not agree with that, but this is what I understand. And this is actually the famous thing which I took it from the Arthur Conan Doyle. It is of the highest importance in the art of detection to be able to recognize out of a number of facts which is incidental and which is vital. Actually, what happens in policing, this actually is, once you differentiate between these two, the citizen-centric approach and the service to the people will be better. So, for example, there are so many things happening. But what happens in a police station, as I said, a citizen goes, he wants the service. Another citizen goes, he wants another kind of service. Now the person has to actually decide which is more important and how it should be done. The similar is the case in investigation. Number of facts come. Which of the fact is vital is to be found out. And there, actually, this technology helps. Because technology, nobody can beat the mind of the human being. It is the indomitable. But there the technology helps you to differentiate whether this is to be done or not done. For example, I will give you an example. You might be hearing a lot of things about the CDR analysis. You know what happens in the CDR analysis? You make calls. And you make calls, and there was an ad by Vodafone. It says that we have crossed even Paris. Delhi is having more mobile number phones than Paris. And that's whether that is a positive statement or negative statement, I do not know. Because for me it is a very negative statement. Had they used less number of phones, the job will be easier for me. So what happens is that nowadays people carry one phone for his wife, one phone for his office, another for his friend, and something, 3-4 phones. I also carry 2-3 phones. I am also saying, for whatever requirement, I don't know. I keep on adding the phones because saying that no, these are operational phones. These are actually not listed. These kind of things. Anyway, so what happens is that the CDR analysis, whatever number of actually phone calls are made. Now, when you used to earlier having these land phones, what I used to do, you will take trunk calls, and we will say put it in a chart, in a paper, and write, acha, yahan se Varanasi, yahan se ye likh ke. We used to write down, and they said, okay, this is the maximum number of calls he has made to Varanasi to this number. So he will check up that. But this is impossible right now if you take the number of calls being made by us. And maybe the suspects and the terrorists or somebody, they are so huge. How I will do it? If something is not being helped, I am not being helped, then how do I do it? So therefore we actually have some tools. We use the tools, and lo and behold, many tools are there. And I tell you, we were doing a very recent case which everybody knows without Hidley and all those. What a kind of data being analyzed. Volumes and volumes, but it takes seconds. You just have to give the parameters, that which is the most frequently called numbers, which is the calls which preceded of this particular time, and which are the important things, what are the patterns, they actually draw the things and give it to you. So this is a great thing which has happened to police. For investigation or for intelligence work, it is very important that we actually inducted this and we got the benefit. So now coming to the thing, I'll say that what is the job of police? In a philosophical way, if I say, to bring security in the minds of the people. Madam must feel very secure to walk alone in the streets of Aurangzeb Road, this road, without being disturbed, without feeling insecure, she should not feel that my ornaments will be stolen or somebody will come and mug it. That sense of security is the most important thing. What Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh said while he made the young superintendents of police in 2005, he said, development can only happen if there is a sense of security in the minds of people. Otherwise, it will not happen. So police, if he cannot give that, then police has failed its primary duty. This is the philosophical part. The other part is that, legally speaking, the Police Act, it says what? The police will maintain law and order so that the public order is not disturbed. The second is that it should prevent crimes, and it should also detect crimes if the crime takes place. Now, coming to this, now the technology. So I'll come to the policing, how the technology comes. Earlier days, when there used to be, the first time a camera was used to take the picture of a dead body in a homicide case. I think it is in England or in Holland somewhere, I don't remember. So they made a camera. That camera has no zooming and other facilities what you are now having. So the camera is too big, and it was put on a rail on the roof, and it was put there, and they put the shutter to be pulled by a rope, and so that this will take picture. Now, how many types of cameras we are having? We are having pocket cameras, cell phone cameras, so many cameras. So when I told somebody, sir, in that particular scene, what happened? Sir, no problem, sir, I am sending you an MMS immediately. This is the reply. This is good, because I am sitting in Delhi, somebody is working for a case in Bombay. He says, in Pune case, what happens is that notwithstanding what is coming on TV, I wanted some pictures. My officer immediately sent the MMS. All close-ups in his BlackBerry, he just took the BlackBerry and just sent it across to me. I put it in my system and saw this, okay, I zoom it and do it in my office. So this is actually possible because of technology. Now, this information technology, now, because some of the, I missed the first session, the use of the CCTVs, what Delhi police have recently done as a part of the Secure Delhi project. They have put only 60 cameras. You know what happened in London? London, there is a statistics. Every time you go out of home, and by the time you come back home, you are photographed 30 times. So this is the kind of thing which really is required in urban scenario. I'll give you an example. I was working in a case with the counter-terrorism unit of Scotland Yard. That is way back in 2004. So the counter-terrorism unit became very friendly with me. When the attack took place in London bombing, one of the persons, I was in India that time, one of the persons, Steve, called me on my cell phone. He was telling, boss, I am just going to the station where there is a bomb blast. You know what I told him? This is just out of my thing. I said, you will not find difficulty in detecting this case. Just see the tapes. I mean the photographs which have been taken that. And that, lo and behold, they actually analyze for, they say 40 kilometers or 50 kilometers length of tapes they analyze, but they got it. So, in a particular situation, all these kind of things can be done. But what happens? The technology is flip side, I'll tell you. One of the very good companies, internationally reputed company, did this CCTV project in Bombay. in one of the most important roads. So